Hello and welcome to my video. Or if you're coming back for even more nonsensical rambling, welcome back. I'm doing a series of videos called I'm dubbing the Why I Like series. It's just covering all the different subjects and things that I enjoy. I'm going to get more in depth in series as I progress, but right now I'm just covering kind of the broad umbrellas. And once I'm done with that, I think I'm going to do a video in regard to what YouTube channels I watch for different media. Um, but in this particular video, it's going to be why I like comics. Um, so, where do I begin with this? I think comics are kind of a broad range of different topics, why people might like them, and I think they're a good way of discussing favorite characters or beloved franchises. Um, for me, it's always fun to see the more in depth or obscure things, um, but at the same time, it's just a fun escape, right? Now, as to what kind of comics I specifically enjoy, it would be comics from Marvel, DC, IDW, Image Comics, Dark Horse, and then Valiant and Boom. Um, and, you know, they each cover their own different topics and different characters and whatnot. Um, but I think they've helped kind of develop a broader range of entertainment and have created some rather iconic characters, such as Iron Man, Captain America, the Hulk, Batman, Superman, The Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Spawn, um, Swamp Thing, and then they've also covered team ups or groups like the Justice League or the Avengers or the Teen Titans or the X Men. Um, and I think those are a good start. They've also there's also been comics for GI Joe, Transformers, um, but they've slowly been getting more and more different topics. Power Rangers. Um, they've even expanded into like the horror franchises. So Aliens, Predator, Friday the 13th, Evil Dead, Nightmare, Nightmare on Elm Street, and The Thing. Um, and comics have kind of brought out a broader range of like figures, movies. Nowadays, it's kind of hard to miss seeing when a new comic book movie is being produced or being put out. And I think in that case, it's helped with a lot of the different franchises and kind of bringing out comics as pop culture or popular culture, um, rather than just being a niche thing that everybody was like, oh, maybe we don't talk about it too much. Um, and it's a beautiful thing that honestly I feel as we grow and expand, we get to see more and more crazy and goofy ideas. We've seen different timelines or continuity events that change how different characters are or different series. And um, in that regard, I think probably one of my favorite series was the Brightest Day and Darkest Night series. Getting to see the different like lantern cores, the different emotional spectrums expressed through different colors, and the character developments, and even the crossover from other DC characters as lanterns. Um, Most of them were fitting, or at least they felt fitting. Um, Along those lines, I think I kind of grew more towards liking the different varieties and variants of characters. So Batman having 8,957 different freaking iterations. I can never get tired of it. I love seeing all the different crazy ways that they show a Batman character. And the same goes for any of the characters that I've mentioned, and honestly, quite a bit more. Um, what I want to do is, as I continue down this Why I Like series, I want to look into more obscure characters and highlight some of the ones that I don't think have gotten much of a kind of spotlight. And who knows, maybe I might find more and more other nonsense to bury myself into rather than just writing down notes and going on a giant freaking ramble. Um, but with that, I think if I were to say that if I were to suggest like looking into comics for anyone, I'd start off with like the mainstays. Again, the same characters that I mentioned before. Basic character like starts. So maybe looking at an older Spider-Man or an older Hulk or something like that, just to dip your toes in the water, see if it's going to be something you like, and maybe take a preview of other like character tie-ins, that kind of stuff. The the thing that really helped reignite my love for comics was the Dark Metals series for DC. Um, the Batman Who Laughs will always be rent free in my head because of the crazy design and backstory for him, and then the fact that there's all these other variant Batmen that make up their own team is a fun one for me, especially like how they got to this point in an evil manner. Um, the Dark Multiverse was definitely a fun thing. There's the new 52. Uh, Marvel has had the Infinity Wars, the oh, I know it was related to the X Men. I can't remember the actual full or the actual proper title. It's been way too long, and so now I have to go back and read it anyway. Um, Spawn. I don't know if there's been any major crossovers. I think I'll have to do some more research into that one later on and kind of highlight it once I get to the Why I Like Spawn video. Um, Witchblade was an interesting one. I say interesting. It's known for its very um, male attracting or male based audience because of the design of the female characters. God, I hate trying to phrase it in a way that doesn't sound or that I don't think is going to get me in trouble with YouTube. Um, but anyway, there's quite a bit, and I think if anybody were to ask me what comics they would want to start with, I'd say, what genre do you like the most, or what character do you recognize the most first? And I'd say something along the lines of maybe finding an older series, whether it's digital or physical copy, and starting from there. Um, or even finding a way to watch older cartoons to see if you can tolerate the level of maybe overly cartoonish storytelling or more child friendly storytelling. It all varies, right? And go from there. Yeah. As I said, I'm going to go more in depth to particular characters or franchises as I go. And this is just me making sure it's clear I'm not just in it for one character or one series or one brand. Um, I think every franchise has its ups and downs, and I think as I get more in depth into the series, I'm going to be more expressive of my criticisms. That way, it's not just, oh, I absolutely only love Marvel or absolutely only love DC. Um, Other than that, thank you for taking the time to listen to me go on this really long winded ramble about why I like comics. If there's anything you want me to check out or any ways you think I can improve, please feel free to give me any sort of feedback in the comments. Um, if you like the video or want me to cover a topic and hope to hear me cover it in the future, feel free to subscribe. Otherwise, thank you and farewell.